Geek Vibes Nation has made the switch to Anchor. Let me tell you a little bit about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more great podcast networks. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
All right, welcome Geek Vibes Nation to an all new, and this is a brand new thing that we kind of came up with on the whim. We're doing our own version of Watch Party, but we're kind of doing an audiobook version of this for you. So what we're going to be doing is, while we are physically watching Suicide Squad, we will be breaking down scene by scene of this full 2 hour and 3 minute movie. We will take small little breaks for you guys where we tell you guys take a small little break. Give yourself some time, come right back to us. But we're going to be breaking down the Suicide Squad. This is a movie that is loved by Tia. This is a movie that is somewhat appreciated by me. And Jacoya seems to really love this movie also. So we will have a few people coming in, joining the party, giving their social commentary of Suicide Squad. But this is really fun. So first, I want to thank Tia and Jacoya for joining me. Like I said, we will have more people joining as we go. But I foolishly forgot to record the first go around. So this is new.
You're doing so well.
So this will be, again, like I said, our audio book of breaking down Suicide Squad. So let us begin. All right. So obviously the movie is starting, and I was saying before how the color of the Warner Brothers Time Warner Company logo that shows at the beginning made me kind of feel like I was supposed to expect a lot of Joker and Harley because that's obviously their color scheme. And it just didn't really pan out that way. It did not pan out the way that I was.
Yeah.
So obviously we see black.
But I love this visual.
No, it's
like,
a really great visual.
I know that you're doing my commentary. Yeah, it's a great visual. And as I was saying before, you know, when you weren't recording, I love the music here. House of the Rising Sun. It's just a perfect setup. It really freaking is. You know, it's a gritty, dirty type of song, and I mean the freaking state of this place is abysmal.
No, that's for sure. And it was pretty cool seeing how physically fit Will Smith got for this.
Okay.
He definitely put to make Floyd, you know, pretty realistic. We didn't get dad bod Will. We got Muhammad Ali bad boys.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool to see. This here is hilarious. Where Will's brought food and he's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's loaf." He's like
that was it.
Toenails and everything in there for you. And I just loved it because it set up something weird because this guy was supposed to be like the irritant of the prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just kind of didn't really matter like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, he wasn't that important.
We obviously see Will Smith getting beaten up as punishment for his disobedience. And then we see the scene that made
beautiful Harley Quinn here.
My girl.
The scene that made all the fanboys in the theater that night I went just go crazy. And that's Margot Robbie as Harley.
This made me so happy. The first time we're getting a live action Harley Quinn, and it's just like, she's so beautiful. She's so wonderful. It was just
She did a great job at that. Like she literally embodied that role because it takes a switch off to be able to do that. So she definitely did a great job.
Yeah, no, for sure. I really love this. This was showing you how crazy she is. This is how diabolical and how violent.
Yes.
And I was really excited by this.
Oh, I love this line.
I loved her using her sexuality to kind of freak him out a little bit to where it's like, why are you so crazy? You know? And like, he wasn't really biting, but Harley has ways of getting what she wants. And you kind of somewhat.
Well, and also.
Go ahead.
And also what I love about it is that it's also a commentary, like not only is she making him uncomfortable with her in general sexuality, but you know, a lot of times like there's a perception that women don't have like a choice in who they sleep with. You know, men will say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to win her. And she's like, I sleep with who I want, when I want, where I want. You know, and I'm like, oh, I love it so much. Admittedly, then she gets freaking electrocuted, but you know, she made a statement.
See her here getting drugged out. This kind of shows you like what kind of goes on here. I didn't understand that scene where she kind of just ran to the bar and kind of just like headbutted it. It was just like, okay, no, her doing like gymnastics in her cell showed me how crazy she was. I didn't really understand that part. And then you get the scene that's my favorite out of this whole movie, and that is seeing.
Oh, geez, of course.
That this legit is showing you that it's setting up right after BVS. You're seeing Amanda Waller, who, by the way, David Ayer casting Viola Davis.
What?
We see Remember Superman because he's now
beautiful.
After the aftermath of BVS. We go to the funeral scene where they're remembering all the lives that were lost, and of course Superman, showing you that you have to. Well, not you have to, but you should remember the events of it. And then we get the awesome visual of the title scene of Suicide Squad. Viola Davis, man, if this movie was just a little bit visually better, script was a little bit cleaner, I would legit say, like, this might be the best DC movie to date, not counting Joker. But I love this. First of all, and this is going to sound really weird, I love how tight her fro is. That like sound like really weird for me to bring up, but it's not easy to keep that thing that tight.
I mean, we were just talking about froze, so
yeah. Yes, froze. Yes.
It was cartoon ready.
What's up, Dan? Dan is joining us for our live watch party of Suicide Squad. Dan, we're a few minutes in because I forgot to hit the record button before. So you didn't miss much. We are in the beginning sequence of Viola Davis stating why the Suicide Squad protocol has to happen. Beautiful shot. This shot right here is where I was like, all right, David Ayer might be a genius. Like, that's not easy to pull off. And that's straight out of the comics. Dead shot in that exact pose. This scene here, I thought some of Will Smith's dialogue could have been cleaner and a bit more crisp. This is the one moment of the entire movie where it was like it's Will Smith being Will Smith, and I didn't really like it. You guys definitely chime in whatever you want. Dan, chime in whatever you want.
well,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I love this scene just because it's like the whole general of it where it's like he's making this sort of last minute deal with whomever to kill this witness who's going to obviously blow everything up, and it seems so like it's not going to happen. Within 2 seconds the guy's freaking dead. I don't know, there's something about that. Maybe it's because I just watched Uncut Gems and there was an unexpected killing and shooting in that I was like, oh, this is great.
Well, no.
I like this scene as well because I think it kind of spoke to what his character was. It let you know that he was about his money. Like, it wasn't about anything emotional. It wasn't about, you know, anybody, period, but himself. Like, this is my job. This is what I do. So either you're going to pay me what I want or, you know, it ain't going to happen. So I think it kind of like showed to like his, to his talent of who he was. Basically kind of showed like, this is the dude here and you better pay him if you want this job done.
Well, don't get me wrong. The visuals of it were perfect. I just didn't dialogue. That was my only issue, was the dialogue. But one thing I have to give Will Smith credit for is when I heard he was cast as Deadshot, first thing I remember telling my friend Andrew was, he better wear that mask. And Andrew was like, Will Smith, he's not going to put the mask.
You in the mask.
So when I saw him put the mask on, I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank Oh, man, I was so nervous. But this scene right here was so touching, so beautiful. I give David Ayer and his writing crew a lot of props for this. You see this a lot. You see this a lot where either the child lives with the mother and the dad is somewhat of a deadbeat, or vice versa. And in this scenario here, you see how he just wants what's best for his daughter. And she just wants what's best for him. Like, she's like, no, I get it. Mom sucks. But, like, I need you to not suck, you know? So, like, I hated Will Smith's outfit here, if I'm being frank with you, but I love this so much.
Yeah, I like this scene as well. It kind of showed. I mean, I think that this whole movie kind of showed to the side of the heartstrings of a criminal, and a lot of them again are just doing a job that they, I was just cast to do this job, but they have actual lives, they have background stories, they have hurt pains that they dealt with that got them to where they are. So I like that scene because it showed his human side, of who he was. Because he could have had bugged out. He could have bugged out on Batman.
Yeah, no, and I'll say this. Best scene of the entire movie, besides the Joker Harley origin montage that we'll get into soon. Seeing Batman drop from the sky.
Because Ben Affleck's Joker. I mean, Batman.
Yes. Yeah. I was just in the theater like, ooh, yay! But no, this goes to my frustration of why David Ayer didn't just make this a complete, almost shot for shot of Assault on Arkham, the animated movie. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. It's exactly what this movie should have been. And it just would have made more sense. You had your sprinkle of Batman. It was the focus on the villains. And it somewhat had the same result. Their job was to kill Riddler. But we get to Harley Quinn. Now, I want to say this. My favorite of the montage for this Harley Quinn is writing. It's not the actual scene. It's when it said killed Robin, help Joker kill Robin. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God. Not Killing Joke, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm blanking on the actual story, but I'm like, oh my God, they killed Robin already. Like, now it makes sense seeing BVS where he's just looking at the shrine of Robin. We know that it's already happened. Like, they're not going to flash back. It's done. And I love this. I love I love Joker saying, can you give me a
machine gun?
And she's like, what?
Like, what are you going to do?
And I love this. I love seeing Joker's goons go crazy. Like, David Ayer was creating such a beautiful world for Joker. And we see them strap Harley down. And he gives some of the best dialogue I've heard from Joker. Like, all the Jokers, period. To where it's like, what are you going to do to me, Mr. J? You going to kill me? And it's like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to kill you. I love what Jared Leto
hurt you.
Do with this character. He was doing a really, really, really good job. And now, like, it seems like he won't ever be back as Joker. And that's very unfortunate.
That's unfortunate because, yeah, he did that.
Look at that shot right there.
Oh,
with the classic. I love that.
That was so beautiful. As someone who grew up loving Quinn, loving like their whole kind of relationship, that scene to see them in the classic. I didn't think we were gonna get that. No. I didn't think that was ever gonna happen. That was beautiful. And I'm sorry, I love this scene right here where they're in the club and Common is there observing Harley, and to me this just like speaks to their craziness. I know that this is a scene that isn't very liked by a lot of people, but to me, I did like it because I'm like, they would be the type of couple to try to seduce him and be like, no, it's okay. But him thinking like, no, I can't,
And they'll see it as a bad thing.
Now,
yeah, exactly.
I'm going to point this out because this has not been spoken by anyone, and I want to shed some light on it. One thing it looks like, I'm not saying this is factual, but it looks like is David Ayer's Joker. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but he had no addiction to Batman. His addiction was Harley. That's different than every incarnation of Joker that we've read in comics and seen in the animated series, because the Joker was obsessed with Batman. We even saw it from The Dark Knight. He was obsessed with him. This Joker looks more like if someone was able to put a bullet in Batman's head, he'd sleep so much better. Like, that's what this Joker screams to me, and that's so different. It's just so different that his obsession is Harley. Look what he went through in this movie for Harley. So I'm like, the fact that Birds of Prey opened with like, oh, Joker broke up with Harley. What?
I couldn't believe that.
Like, what do you mean? That's insane. But no, I love this. And apparently David Ayer said this scene was a lot longer with Tattoo Man, Joker, and Harley. So I am curious about what that longer cut would look like. But we obviously see Joker shoot Tattoo Man in the head. And then we see Purple Lamborghini, the hit song off the soundtrack. Joker and Harley in a purple Lamborghini being chased down by my dad, Batman.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a beautiful visual. The Batmobile chasing a purple Lamborghini. Like, that's just something you don't really see. Like, usually Joker's grabbing, like, a van or, like, a sedan or like a purple Lamborghini that Batman can really spot from, like, miles away. I loved it. And then obviously...
Oh, I love how gaudy they were.
Right?
Yes.
I loved it. I loved it to where Joker was like,
so,
I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Okay.
No, I definitely...
But then this also kind of plays on this scene where Batman dives in after Harley and obviously Joker has split.
Bounce.
Does, it does speak to the Joker that we have seen where he really is just self-serving and isn't going to go after his lady. He's going to, obviously try and get away himself.
Yeah, that I remember in the theater, we all were like, damn, Batman, you ain't had to punch her in the face.
Nah, she needed that real quick. She wasn't going to stop.
That was brutal. I love it.
Stop.
I would have loved to have seen more of Ben and Margot Robbie.
I love her kissing him because I remember that from the animated series.
Right.
Now,
I do have to say, I argue that a little bit, Tia. I don't think she kissed him.
Hey, there's David Harbour.
If you look at his mouth was really weird for someone trying to perform mouth-to-mouth. It looked like he was trying to get a little kiss on with Harley a little bit.
Well, it's Ben Affleck, so, he's awkward.
He has thin lips.
Hey, Tia, watch your mouth about my dad. Watch your mouth about my dad. But I loved it.
Just because he's coming back for Snyder Cut, it doesn't mean shit.
This right here made the entire theater just, like, erupt. To see that the Flash actually gallery, like, this was so awesome. This was so awesome. And Tia, huge shout out to your man David Harbour. People forget he was...
I just said my man David Harbour there. I know, I see that all the time on Twitter. People are like discovering it. They're like, David Harbour was in Suicide Squad. I'm like, why weren't you paying attention?
It's just crazy because you've always seen him with a mustache or a beard of some sort since Suicide Squad.
He looks better. He looks better with facial hair.
Oh, 100%.
He does look better.
I thought Diablo was a very interesting character to bring about. I really, really, really did like the use of his powers and how he kind of just wanted to control him. This Joel tells me every time I bring up Suicide Squad how much he loved how Killer Croc looked. He looks horrible to me.
Oh, I hate it. I hated how he looked.
He could have looked way more like a monster. Like that looks like it's a like that doesn't. And then Joel's like, well, what do you expect it to look like? And I'm like, not real. Like, I mean, like make it look a little bit more.
So you wanted it to be like more like costumey, exaggerated, comically looking.
Like, I'll give you an example. When you look at Sonic, right? Sonic has an animated thing about him, but like it still brings out the realness of what Sonic would look like if he were like to exist in the real world. That looks like a guy who just sat in the makeup.
I just wanted him to look.
I'm not gonna lie.
I just wanted him to look bigger, Like he looks a scrawny dude. Like to be Killer Croc is supposed to be massive, and it wasn't massive, and I didn't like that.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie. I just watched like Mario Brothers the other day, and he did remind me of the Mario Brothers Turtles things over there.
Exactly. He looked like the dad. He looked like the dad.
Like I didn't catch it before, but I watched it. I said, "Oh my God, that's what he looks."
That's exactly.
So now I understand why. Yeah.
That's a good comparison. I'm glad you said that. And then we get the person that shouldn't have existed in this movie, and that's June Moon, aka. This was just it was just so weird. Like very, very, very I didn't understand it. But Cara Delevingne is definitely someone that you don't mind looking at. So I guess it worked for that. But I mean this is pretty weird. Like, how did you guys feel about her introduction here?
I always like his weird finding stuff in the cave thing. I think they kind of I've already told y'all before. I enjoy movies for what they are, as long as the storyline is moving along. Then I'm okay with it. I like how this was her job, and they had to show us how she actually got the enchantress in her. So I think they did a decent job as far as introduction wise. I mean, it wasn't the story we wanted, but introductory wise, I think they did a good job.
The intro is just fine.
Yeah. We got to give some props to, not props, but a shout out for Tia's husband right here.
Tia.
Joel Kinnaman, my man.
Yeah.
There was so much eye candy in this freaking movie. That was so great. I know that Joel Kinnaman does not get a lot of love, and certainly he's done some things that are just like blah, but his Swedish stuff is great. And I think that if given the resources and the script, he can do better. So, but as Jacoy says, this is just face value. So I wasn't going to go that deep into it, but I definitely, and I love Tom Hardy, but I'm glad Joel Kinnaman got this part and not Tom Hardy. It would have been so weird seeing Tom Hardy in this position especially after seeing Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, and this is some of the best dialogue of the movie where they're debating inside the Pentagon. What would happen if they got a bad version of Superman? What would we do? And that's where
Which is fair.
Which is very fair.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller is now presenting her plan for Task Force X, a.k.a. the Suicide Squad. Now, I would say this. If I was sitting in that room and you were trying to sell me a guy who just makes ropes, I wouldn't really take you seriously. I don't know. And what's even crazier is the fact that regardless of her putting bombs in their necks and, monitoring them, the fact that the Pentagon was like, all right, put some of the worst people ever onto the streets, and we're just gonna hope that this goes well. And
okay, and we'll figure it out in the wash.
Yeah, it's funny. No one ever talks about this, but if you read comics and watch the cartoons, you guys notice how the bad guy gets stopped, and then you read your next issue, and it's he's out of prison. What
already?
How did that happen?
It's a whole new day. It's a whole new day.
There was a whole great article exploring that and how, about the Punisher and, why he works in fictional and everything because of that very reason. That doesn't work in real life. I love this scene, by the way. I love her having her hands on it and the freaking enchantress
and it
spins.
Yeah.
I love that. That was beautiful. But I will say that if I were in that room, I'd be like, who is this half-naked lady here?
I wouldn't have been sitting down.
Why does she have to be in a bra and underwear? I don't mean to go all feminist on this freaking podcast or anything, right? Because I know a lot of people shit on Margot Robbie's outfit. And I'm not talking anything bad about David Ayer. I like David Ayer. But why does she have to be freaking half naked? Okay, I'm just saying.
That was her culture. It was culturally, I guess.
But doesn't she not? But doesn't she not look like this in the comics? They just made it up. They're like, she should just be in chainmail. She should just be in chainmail.
I will say one of the myths of witches are they're supposed to be appealing to the male eye. They're supposed to lure you in.
She looks like she got but she got dipped in mud. What is appealing? She looks like she got dipped in mud.
She was from the deep dark inside of the forest. They found that.
Right.
It was supposed to be towards her origin of where she came from.
Tia, I need you never ask that about men. We are dogs. There is nothing about her that makes Cara Delevingne any less attractive. The mud did nothing to guys. Everyone watching was like, she looks good. She looks good. So we see the mind.
Fair enough.
We see the mind games right here of Amanda Waller, obviously knowing that Rick Flag is the heartstrings to Enchantress or to June. That's the way to kind of get her back in, and that's the way to keeping Rick Flag in line. We'll see that play out a little later. So obviously the Pentagon accepts her Suicide Squad / Task Force X program. So we see Amanda Waller and Rick Flag head off to they call it Black Gate. No, they call it Black something. It's really called Black Gate, but I think they call it something else in the movie. But we see Amanda Waller show up, and she looks at her first experiment in Harley Quinn. And I will say the trailer, when it said, "Are you the devil?" I was like, when I first saw it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, man, that's racist. Like,
but because you know better, you knew what she meant.
No, I did. But when she said it, I was just like, man, I don't like that at all. How do you see a black woman just go, yo, you the devil? Like, what?
She heard about her, I'm sure.
Juwan.
She heard about her.
I legit was watching that trailer like, I ain't gonna watch this movie, man. But
Viola Davis is a beautiful woman, but she can give that like death stare. I'd be afraid too.
100%. Viola Davis, I would not want to see in a dark house.
She told me to sit my ass down. I'm gonna sit my ass down.
Oh, for sure. We see Flag. We see here Rick Flag recruiting. Why can't I think of his name? Killer Croc. And then obviously we see Amanda Waller and Rick Flag in front of Diablo.
Like, is that you?
Yeah, they're trying to recruit him, but Diablo obviously wants a life of peace, wants to get away from being the
weapon
demon, right? So this is really interesting, and can I say it is hilarious? They put him in a water tank. Like I never find that to be hilarious. It's just like, how can we get this guy to relax when we need him to? Also with water.
I'm dead.
But no, I definitely like this. I thought Diablo was a pretty cool character in this movie. I didn't really have any issues.
I liked him.
I liked his character for who he was, and
I liked how he seemed to be like pretty much like quote unquote the less bad out of everyone, even though we do find out what his origin story is later. It's like he just, I don't know. It was just an accident. You have like a person with like firepower. I feel like shit's gonna happen. But
but you have to remember his actual start story was he was a gangbanger and a drug dealer. So technically he wasn't that good, but what actually happened with his wife and the children is what kind of like gave him that pivot. You know what I'm saying? To realize like, everything else don't matter. So that's the part that I like. But that he didn't mean to do that part. He like, I didn't even have control over this bad part. It was the other stuff that I was really doing, but this part I didn't have no control. This
scene right here is very very important to Dead.
It's one of the best scenes. One of the best scenes.
Yes, he killed this part.
I might actually have to hold on. I might actually have to put volume on this because it's
we need we're on that. We're on that.
Stand down. Colonel for the record, this is exactly what I was concerned about. Ames, this man shoots me. I want you to kill him. I want you to go clear my browser history.
I like this.
Amanda ain't shit.
Don't empty nothing. You don't even know this lady.
I feed you. She don't even know her.
No, for nothing. The shock on his face right now. He's like, "Oh, you guys are crazy."
Yeah, no, I love that mainly because it's like he kind of felt himself again when he's around his guns, when he's doing right. That's where he's the most clear-minded. Yeah, go ahead, Tia.
Can I tell you that I'm not like a rap fan really, but when I discovered this song, I was like, who plays this song? I need to look it up on YouTube right now.
Kanye.
In my I like listen to this song on repeat sometimes in my car because I just get in the mood. Like I'm just like, all right, I need to blast it.
This used to be a morning wake up song for us. The Kanye song from Suicide Squad.
Yeah, what I loved here was you were showing how deadly of a shot he is, and I loved this right here is some of the best dialogue right here.
Shooketh.
Where he's kind of going, I hope you heard everything that I wanted. And he's like, who do you think you're talking to? He's like, I'm not talking to you.
Talking to you.
I'm talking to
your boss.
And he's pointing to Amanda Waller. Like, I love that. I completely love that. And I loved how Rick Flag was playing along with him. Oh, you want him out? He's out. Yeah, no, go ahead. What else? What else would you like? Like, I love
that.
Harvard.
I love that he's like at some white school. He was like, I'm not talking about. I was like, Ivy League. Like, he's like, if they get in trouble,
and if she can't cut it, there's white people that stuff. How y'all do?
Oh man, this is so great. They were so good together, Joel Kinnaman and Will Smith. They were so good.
He thought
together.
I was talking to you. Yeah, he said, I'm not talking to you. No, Aaron boy.
I'm talking to your boss. I love that. I definitely love that.
What's this?
It was a great back and forth, and I loved how Viola Davis was egging him on to shoot him. Go ahead, shoot him. Shoot him. You don't believe that. And then this is where we see where Amanda Waller is cutthroat. She was making it very clear to Rick Flag, you can leave, but just know whatever I do to your girlfriend, you're leaving her here to whatever I decide to do with her. And then obviously, again, pulling at the heartstrings of Rick Flag, he decides to stay. Go ahead, Tim.
I like how, with Rick Flag, he didn't question Viola, in front of everyone because he's a good soldier. He doesn't question his, leader in front of other people, but he'll wait behind closed doors to speak to her one-on-one.
Right. No, exactly. That's a great point, Tia. That's a really, really, really good point. But I mean, I loved it. And I loved how Amanda Waller isn't afraid. Like, she'll step to anybody. This right here, I freaking loved. And I want to pause this so we don't keep going and move past it. I want to speak to what David Ayer said about the scene. And the scene that we're at for everyone listening is we're right after Amanda Waller laid down the law to Rick Flag, and we see the Joker is depressed. He hasn't had his Harley fix in a long time, and he's starting to feel it. Now, this is what I loved. Joker, obviously, we've seen in many incarnations, has the permanent smile pretty much tattooed to his face. That's his face. Mm-hmm. David Ayer said he drew the smile on his face because since he lost Harley, there was no happiness. There was no reason to smile. So he would have to force it by drawing the smile onto his face. That's what the outline of a smile is that he has on his face. I love that. That to me is poetic because it's showing you're someone that loves someone, but obviously does not know how to love them properly. So gone, he's lost, and albeit someone would say, well, if you didn't leave her, maybe she could have escaped with you. And Joker would have said, touche, fair enough.
But in his mind, it would see him as being, soft and stuff. Like that's the sickness of him, exactly. The loving of somebody else, and showing that kind of reverence for someone because he's the Joker. I'm the one that's supposed to be fair. Everybody, fears me. I can't have no softness in me, and that's what she does to him. And it's like, okay, no, I can't care too much. I have to break this real quick, and then I'll come back to it later on.
And I love this. I love how his bodyguard Frost is telling him, hey, they don't just go to Arkham anymore. They send them to this swamp in Louisiana. Like, it's not that easy to get them anymore. Mm-hmm. He's like, what do you want to do? And Joker's just like elegantly,
I love this. I love that scene, by the way. He's like, how long did it take the Joker to freaking put all those knives in the circle? Like, that's not
okay.
OCD.
Yeah, that's what I love about the Joker. He's so uniquely different than all other Jokers. Mm-hmm. And I freaking love this. And we see here the guard that was torturing everybody at the beginning of the movie.
Yes, I love this.
This is what sold me on Jared Leto's Joker. This freaking scene where he does that whole slow, you think he's gonna be intimidating, and then he gets into his laugh and everything. Like, this is what sold me on him. Like, I love the shit, that unpredictability on it.
Yeah, and here we see one of Joker's henchmen letting him know, hey, we'll kill you. We'll burn your house down. We'll kill your family. All of it will go down. Like, do what we need or else. So we see here he's being paid off by Frost, Joker's right hand. And then we see Joker walk in like a boss, massaging his shoulders.
Blah, 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 blah.
All that chit-chat's going to get you killed.
Yeah.
I love
And
this.
look how terrified he looks. Look how
Okay.
terrified that guy looks. He's like, oh, fuck. It's like, what do you think was going to happen? Like, hey, freaking Harley isn't going to eventually get in contact with her man and tell her how some loser's been freaking, torturing her? Come on, dude.
I want to pause it here. I want to say this to you. The reason why Suicide Squad is important to Birds of Prey is it provides context. If you notice how terrified he was just hearing Joker's voice before he even saw him. And then remember, the whole premise of Birds of Prey was once Joker broke up with Harley,
It was a wrap.
It was fair game.
Mhm.
And we saw even Black Mask was terrified of Joker. Like, he was terrified. He was like, nope, I want no parts of Joker. Harley could stab me in my throat and I'd forgive her because I want nothing to do with Joker. This specific scene is setting up how terrifying Joker is within Gotham, just Gotham itself. And him elegantly telling the guard, kiss my ring, like respect me and understand that if I decide you'll die here today. Like, that's how important this was to Birds of Prey because it provided context. And then as Tia said before, he sits in his lap and he's just playing mind games here. It's just like, look, you're going to do what I need.
It's just like, Joker isn't afraid to get into someone's personal space like that. It doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman or whatever. And why is, like, Rick Flag so angrily eating chicken right now? Like, angrily eating that freaking chicken.
That was completely weird. But I do like this. I do like that Enchantress has the ability to pop out of June Moon whenever she wants.
Uh-huh.
Like, legit, whenever she wants. She could play mind games. We're seeing the history of when June became Enchantress. Obviously, it looked like she had to die before she could live again. I will say this, man. No one can speak bad about Joel Kinnaman's acting in this movie. Like, this is convincing right here. Of him just kind of being torn. Like, I love June, but like, this is some freaky shit I gotta deal with. Like,
is it worth it?
yeah. Every guy has had to make that decision of like, she might be a little crazy, but I think it might be worth it. But I love.
Well, we see the same opposite when it came to Harley before she actually became Harley, and but she was a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And she went with the Joker, so we already seen how those bad decisions goes.
Oh,
it's
sure.
a two-way street, man. Like, women may have a hold on men, but men have like the stupid shit we do for guys. Like,
okay.
I'll say this though, Tia. It's usually only one type of guy that has a hold on women, and it's usually the dirt. Like, you'll never see a girl that's like, this really nice guy, man, he's got this crazy hold on me. Like, I don't know what it. It's usually like the guy that's just like super douchey. With women, it doesn't matter. Nice, librarian, criminal, doesn't matter. It's just a hold on guy. It's just completely different. But we obviously see Enchantress taking a innocent hostage and turning this innocent into her quote unquote brother, who we see him become.
This is what I dislike.
Yeah, this was creepy.
Yeah,
kind of like, where were you going? Like, where was this going? And then we see June Moon pop back up in a hotel room with Rick Flag, who is still confused on what the hell's happening here.
Yeah, definitely the brother thing was when I kind of started in the movie going, what? Like, we were on a really good track with this whole Joker thing.
She needed help. She needed help. She didn't know where she was at. She needed help.
No, I get why Enchantress did it, Jacoya. We're just saying it. All this here should have been Joker. Like,
well, yeah, of course.
More Joker would have been nice here. Sprinkle some more in.
Some more purple.
So obviously, we see the person that Enchantress had pretty much like infiltrated their body, and we see him in cold sweat starting to become. I don't remember what her brother was called, and I can't even check my phone. I don't remember
Let
what
me
his
see.
name was in this movie, but we see his transformation, which was really weird. Like a lot of the visuals of their powers were kind of weird. It was, I guess, more supernatural than
His name was the Incubus.
Incubus.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jacoya.
This is how you know that this is how you know this movie didn't take place in New York City, because a guy just collapsing on the floor at first would not garner any sort of like.
And nobody was
look.
looking. It was like,
Yeah, New York very much would have
they're
stepped.
like, oh, it's Friday.
Yeah, New
yeah,
York
right?
very much
Something's
stepped.
wrong.
You'll be all right.
It'll
You know
live.
how many people I've seen puke like in the subway and everything, and I literally had someone like scream at me, "Look away! Look away!" And I'm like, I can't help it. You're vomiting like 2 feet away from me.
Yeah, you just kind of look disaster in the eye. That's usually how that always works.
Mm-hmm.
But we see here the Pentagon is freaking out because of the outbreak happening in the subway. That's really disgusting. Harley pulling a shiv out of her mouth that I assume she had swallowed. And now it looks like because of what's happening here, that the Pentagon is
They got to assemble the team.
Yep, they're executing Task Force X. They're approving Amanda Waller.
It's time.
Yep, it's time for her to do it. It's time to happen.
Look at Will.
He's ready to fight. He's ready to fight.
Release the Kraken. Oh man, this whole freaking movie, man. Like, I will say, looking back on it, John, your like number one comment where you're like, "Oh, here's a supernatural being with the power to do this, this, and that." Let's get these guys, who virtually none of them have any superpowers at all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was very much weird. But we see here the very pivotal scene of them injecting the bombs into everyone's neck, starting off with Harley Quinn. Excuse me. Then comes I don't know why I was gonna say Bloodshot, Deadshot. Pretty smart.
Different movie.
Yeah, completely different movie. I always thought that was really genius of the comic book writers when they created the Suicide Squad to do that, because then you kind of go, how do you reel them back in if they go off the walls? And it's like, oh, don't worry about that, we got that, we'll blow their heads up. And it's like, oh yeah, no, that would work. That would that brings perspective. I love the guard. I love the guard telling Harley, tell Joker I did what he said, so he doesn't come.
Word. Let him know I did good.
More scenes like this, Tia, is exactly why we've been screaming for. Like, if there's an Ayer cut that has all the Joker scenes that were cut, we want to see that. Like, that's the cut we really want to see. Because look at this. Look how cool he is.
Oh,
the trench coat.
I swear, I hate people who hate. Not listen, you can dislike his Joker. That's fine. But I hate people who just hate Joker, like, in general, just for some sort of, like, weird type of reason. It's like, come on, look at this. You just hate bad guys, I guess. But me, I love bad guys. So give me all of it.
I love this. And it's just something so elegant about his cane, and how he rests on it. I freaking love it. And I love how he's injecting it, and he's like, you'll find me a way to get this out or to stop.
Okay.
Because you have to stop your head from blowing up. And obviously we see, you said Incubus, right, Jacoya?
What happened?
His name was Incubus or Incubus?
Yes, Incubus. It's the Incubus, they say.
Okay. So we see him wreaking havoc all over the subway. And we see Rick Flag trying to weaponize June to get Enchantress to kind of stop.
But
Go ahead, Tia.
This scene though was so stupid. Okay, why would you think that you can trust the Enchantress? They're like, here you go, let me give you exactly what you need to do to wreak havoc on everyone. It's like, to me, this scene was a little, like, looking back on it, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know if I can say that on this. I'm sorry.
Has he ever seen, like, what she can actually do? I don't even recall. I think maybe he felt like he had a close enough connection to June that she wouldn't, that he was able to actually talk to her. I think June already told him that she can't control it.
Right, and we see here
Yeah.
Enchantress goes off the rails, so Waller tries to stab her heart to death, but Enchantress goes to her brother for her brother to give her the power she needs to overcome that heart that Amanda Waller has over her. And it works. She completely turned into female Loki. That's what she looks like.
Whoa.
I think that outfit's all CGI. It looks CGI.
Oh, yeah, it completely does, for sure. But this was just really weird because it's like, all right, I'm about to see a lady who holds a bat face this. Okay. But I will say one of my favorite rumors about Suicide Squad before it came out was that Scott Eastwood was actually playing Agent Dick Grayson. So in the comics, Dick Grayson faked his death and became like an agent and was hunting down certain villains and stuff, below. So a lot of people were like, yo, Scott Eastwood is like Dick Grayson. And I was like, yo, I love that. And then like the movie.
I forgot that Scott Eastwood was in this. Another eye candy.
Who? Oh, Scott Eastwood. Yeah.
I said I forgot that Scott Eastwood was in this. I'm like another eye candy.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we see here, obviously, like we just introduced him, Scott Eastwood with Rick Flag, kind of saying, "This plan sounds crazy, man." like these are the most dangerous of dangerous. And we see Killer Croc and the whole team getting ready to suit up. This was hilarious seeing Captain Boomerang kind of just jump out of his sack and punch someone in the face.
I love this where like Harley's like, "Nice to meet you," and she's like, "Wait, I should kill everyone and escape?" Oh, sorry, voice is in my head.
No, I completely love that. Mainly,
isn't this where we meet?
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, is this where we meet Captain Rope?
Oh my god!
Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah, Boomerang's great right here. Just punching someone. He's ready. He's Australian. He's ready to fight 24/7.
Oh, 100%, always,
all day.
So we see that he's ready to go, and we see them calming him down. Like, dude, relax. So I love that, and then obviously here we see everyone just punching someone in the face.
He had to punch the girl. I have to point that out. He had to punch the girl. No one else. He had to punch the girl.
They are all getting punched in the face. I love it. So we see right here, everyone getting the whole speech of, you fail to do it, I say, you die. You run, you die. You talk wrong, you die. Rick Flag giving his infamous speech. And Harley being Harley.
Doesn't that shot right now go as far as motivation? That was terrible.
Yeah, he goes. Word. And then we see Amanda Waller come on screen, and then he goes, "That was way better. Like she did it
okay.
Right."
Like Dollar Pep out? Yeah, that's your shit.
I love this. I love seeing them all kind of get suited up because it's kind of just like this looks so good. This looks so good. Harley.
Yeah, I love them like all happy, like getting all their stuff back. Like Harley getting her outfit. There's that classic outfit, you know.
Yeah, she had the vintage one. She was like, no.
No, not for this.
I like they did that.
You know, yeah, it's so like, you know, us girls, right? Like, okay, this is a different occasion. I'm gonna wear this outfit instead.
Yeah.
You know, she's not always gonna wear the same outfit.
I love how customized everybody's weapons are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. And Killer Croc goes for the hoodie.
I love.
He is the weapon. He is the weapon.
I love the pudding belt, and then we see obviously here Captain Boomerang with his unicorn.
Lord have
okay,
mercy.
but didn't that feel eerily similar to like Deadpool? Like, I don't know, I forgot which one.
That
came
is
out
true.
First, but they were like, right? You know what's weird? People, big grown men with pink unicorns. Oh, in the first season of Altered Carbon, Takeshi Kovacs had a book bag with a
Yes,
pink unicorn on it.
Takashi.
Yeah.
He had the pink book bag. Yes.
Yeah, what's up with these men and their freaking pink unicorns?
That
And then
was
next thing you
funny.
know, Juwan's gonna be coming out with some pink unicorn.
Oh shit.
It'll never happen to me. I have limits. All right, this bothered me. This bothered me, and me and Joelle had numerous arguments about this. I don't like how small her mallet is. Like it didn't have to be comically big, but it had to be bigger than that. Like if you're coming at me with that, even if you're Harley Quinn, I'm not really afraid of that. Like it's so small. Like yes, can it still kill me? Sure. But the whole allure to Harley's mallet was that it was huge. And she was lugging this thing around, and I'm like, I wanted to see that. And we see here Amanda Waller.
I know that we
Go ahead.
we went past it, but I just love how trashy Harley is when Diablo's like with his powers, and she's like, "Can you light a lady cigarette with that? Because that'd be super classy." I don't know. I just love that shit.
I also love Deadshot. If you read his neck on the shirt that he's wearing, the collar that he has, it says, "I am the light, I am the way." I thought that was pretty deep for somebody that kills people.
He is
Very
the way.
profound.
Life or death for him.
He's the way to death.
Yeah, life or death for him.
I am the light, the way. Yeah,
Yep.
I am the light, the way. That's what it says specifically. I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, that right there was the worst. The worst.
We're the
I've
Suicide
ever
Squad.
seen. So what are we, the Suicide Squad? It's like, come
No,
on.
this I hate. I'm sorry. This scene I hate. This is Katana. She kills people.
Yeah, allow my wife some respect. Give her a second, okay? Let her.
Oh
I'm
my
not-
gosh.
I'm not shitting on her. I'm just shitting on A, her involvement in this, and B, like
intro
Rick
was
Flash
trash.
Yeah, her intro is so trash. This
Nope,
is Katana.
I'm not letting y'all do that to my wife. Nope.
Oh, Joanne.
I remember it was so crazy on our Facebook page when this came out. Everyone was just drooling over Harley Quinn, and like I was the one renegade that came out and was like, I actually prefer Katana, and everyone's like, "What are you crazy?" And I'm like, I prefer Katana. What do you want from me? I love this because if you guys watch Arrow, around when this came out, I think either a season before or the same season, we saw Arrow introduce Katana. So you kind of had a look at what Katana kind of looks like, feels like, her story a little bit, and then you got to see her on the big screen, which is pretty dope. All right, we see Mr. J texting Harley, letting her know I'm coming for you. How romantic is that?
She's like, good. She's like, this party's boring anyway. Please save me.
Okay.
And I love how Deadshot looks over and he's like, "So Joker's coming, huh?" And she's like, "Shh, tell no one." And it's kind of like, "All right, yeah, sure."
Like, yeah, your boyfriend's coming.
Yeah, like, boyfriend's crazy, Harley. Like, he's gonna cause problems.
That awkward moment when when you're with your boyfriend, your other murder boyfriend wants to come and pick you up.
Yeah, right? It's like, no, sorry, I can't come with you. I'm with my other murderer's boyfriend right now.
Because I'm telling you, like, Will Smith and Margot Robbie had really good chemistry in this movie.
They did.
Honestly,
they really did.
I thought that, Tia, but then I saw the other movie that they were in, and I legit thought, because that was right around when they were saying Will and Jada had problems, and I'm like, oh, he's definitely sleeping with Margot Robbie. Like,
oh my gosh!
If you guys know what movie I'm
Oh my gosh!
You guys know what movie?
Yeah.
Their chemistry was so more on fire than it was here in Suicide Squad. I was kind of like, they're like thinking on the same like wavelength. And then like if you watch all their interviews together, it was like, nah, y'all sleeping together. It was like, nah, come on now. But obviously we see their
happened to Brangelina.
That's exactly what I thought was gonna happen to you. I got nervous. We see that helicopter. And we see the team.
Yeah, that was funny.
You see, Amanda Waller was terrified. She thought they died in the helicopter crash. She thought her plan was coming to a halt.
They're all such disasters.
Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta pause this for a second. All right, hold on. Okay, so we're gonna obviously get to it when the scene arrives. We'll actually get to it, but remember how, like, at the end when Amanda Waller was kind of like exposing how she knew Bruce Wayne was Batman? You know what was always interesting to me? Why Amanda Waller didn't call Batman to say, "Hey, can you save the city?" Why would you put these criminals on the street?
This is a contract for money for her.
Batman. You can't risk Batman. You already, you lost Superman. You can't risk Batman against these crazy, like, sorcerers and shit. It's like, who cares if Harley Quinn or Deadshot or Diablo dies, It's like in any war, right? You have the first line of defense, and if they don't work out, they're the cannon fodder for that. And then I don't know the rank, so I'm not going to claim it. But, you always send, the little ones first, and then, you got the big head honchos in the back.
That's fair.
I seen it as she didn't really care about anything. For her, that was an option for her to have a one-up. Like, granted, if it worked out, you know what I'm saying? If it worked out for her, this was a contract that she was getting. This was money that was going into her pocket. I don't think she cared about anybody but herself. And for her, in her mind, this was going to work. This is going to work. This is going to be X, Y, and Z, because we need to have these other people here to match these other energies that we have going on out here. And I don't think she even thought about Batman. Her thing was like, we need an answer to these other things here, and I got the answer, and it's going to pay out for me if this work out. I think that's just how her personality is.
Go ahead, Tia.
Did you guys not think that Boomerang was testing in this moment? Like, he didn't really know if the neck thing was real or not, but he wanted to chalk it up with this other dude so much to test it. So it's like, all right, if it is real and this dude's head does get blown off, then at least my head doesn't get blown off.
Oh,
yeah. He was trying to figure that out, but he wasn't going to do it for himself.
Yeah. He wasn't going to do it himself.
He was definitely playing possum. He was curious, like, is this real? Let's try it out on the guy that doesn't really matter.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge shouts out to my wife, Karen Fukuhara Carter, as Katana right there, putting the blade on Captain Boomerang's neck. Got to give her a shout out.
Oh my gosh.
But I love this pissing contest between Deadshot and Rick Flag, where it's like, it clearly Deadshot is the leader, and clearly no one cares about what Rick Flag has to say.
At all. And especially the part where he actually showed like how hard his piss was when he had to take over. The scene we about to get into. Yeah.
And I love this here. I love this plot between Harley and Deadshot, to where it's kind of like, hey, we might have to kill this guy. And Harley's like, yeah, maybe, but I got a way out at some point. Like, my Joker's coming for me.
Yeah, he's like, because your boyfriend coming.
I wanted to bang him so badly.
Because she ain't think nobody knew.
I wanted to bang him so badly in that moment.
Oh, for sure, Tia, for sure. And here we're seeing the wreckage of Enchantress and her brother over the city. And we see them trying to close in on the last
those things.
No, the things just pop out. I think they were just trying to close in on the last known location, and the Enchantress sent her little mini goons. Which is weird that bullets worked on them. I was like, that's really fortunate that bullets worked on them, on magic. But it was
a headshot. It was headshots only.
Let me tell you, when Deadshot shines right here, I was like,
that's what I'm saying.
I was like, Will Smith might have to get like a solo movie. Like, that's how much I'm kind of like, I'm really digging this Deadshot right now.
Doesn't this kind of remind you of the scene in the first Avengers where no one wanted to listen to Cap at first, and then all he had to do was kick all those people like Chitauri ass, and then suddenly the cops in New York City were like, "Oh, let's do this!
We need a better here on this corner here."
Yeah, it's funny, Tia, because what people forget is Stark was 100% the guy that everyone listened to in that movie, and then like the next Avengers, it was like, oh, everyone's listening to Cap now. All right, whatever.
He was the captain.
Yeah, I mean, Stark was like,
because he knew how to make the plays.
Stark even made a joke here. Stark goes, "Oh no, I'm not the boss.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
I just pay for everything. Like, I just pay for everything. He's the boss.
Just pay for everything."
I love that. But right here, we see them starting to. We see Enchantress is using her magic to blend in with humans and form these monsters. And then another shot of my wife Katana. I love Deadshot's gun right here. I love the precision. I love the scope. And it's such a quick trigger. And then we see Captain Boomerang like.
Captain Boomerang.
I love Captain Boomerang.
Oh, jeez, I love that. I loved him.
All of these
Oh,
bullets
geez.
going
I
away.
thought that is
They just
true.
wasting
That's a
all the
movie
bullets.
thing, though. That's such a movie thing where they're like, "Oh, let's just waste a shit ton of ammo. There's endless ammo."
Yeah,
Jeez,
no,
bro.
I definitely saw a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he was shooting. It was a shootout, and he didn't reload his gun once. I was like, all right, I gotta turn this. I was like, all right, hold on. The gun
This
battle.
is not Street Fighter. It's not a
I'm like, the gun
cartoon.
battle went like 30 minutes, and he didn't reload once. But we see our anti-heroes kicking butt, and then we see Captain Boomerang has to
Drinking.
battle, which is pretty dope to see what he could do, see what his boomerangs could do. I would have liked it if they made his boomerangs a little bit more tech-based, to where it could do more than the actual, like, boomerang. In the comics, some of his boomerangs were bombs, some of them were,
Like Blade, like, or something. They had like blades on them or shootout.
Yeah, some of them were different. And then we see Deadshot ready to shine. I love this moment. Him and Harley were kind of like, you could let him die. And then he's like, no, I can't. I'm a man of honor. I can't let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then he reminds Harley, hey, if he dies.
I know, Harley. Yeah, I was going to say, Harley's so mad at that point because she's like, oh,
Okay,
good,
she was ready to go.
She was ready. I just love this Harley. Like, not that I disliked Birds of Prey Harley because I like that Harley too, but I don't know. I grew up where Harley was the quote unquote bad guy. I don't need to see her good. I don't need to see that. I want her to be kind of evil. That is who she is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was certifiable in this movie for sure.
You think it was evil, or do you
this
think
is
it was like survival in the sense of her character, like overall?
It was evil.
Yeah, evil. I maybe not necessarily evil, but definitely like devious. Devious,
Yeah,
I feel
well,
like
yeah,
could be the
she was
best word.
devious and cunning.
No, it was definitely evil. She knew.
Yeah.
She knew that if Rick Flag died, there was nothing stopping Amanda Waller from just deeming this as a failed op and just killing everybody. And it's like, all right. And look, I know we just pointed this out. I want to point it out again. I didn't see Deadshot reload not once in that entire.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
And those are his own special guns that he.
Right.
This is mine.
Apparently, they got unlimited clips. Like, it's just we just last long. We're just like 1,000 million bullets are in here. But obviously, we see right here Captain Boomerang calling out Diablo for not helping, which is hilarious.
He like, I ain't asked to be here.
He's like, I didn't want to be.
I love this with the lighter. He's like, oh, look. I love this with Boomerang with the lighter. He's like, oh, look, fire.
You know what I always thought was funny?
Yeah.
Technically, and I know we're talking about a superhero movie here, but technically, Diablo's flames could burn out and short circuit that bomb in his neck. I don't know why he never thought of that.
Oh, Diablo. It's so funny that actor looks nothing like his character with all that tattoos. I was kind of disappointed. I wanted him to like actually have the tattoos in real life.
Oh my god.
A little bit. I love this.
I like the tattoos.
I love that his Rick Flag's team is just like, this is crazy, man. What the hell did you get us into?
Okay.
Just
y'all ain't tell us nothing.
Yeah, he's like, man, you told us this was like we had to stop somebody. You ain't tell me it's witches and stuff.
Yeah,
like, these guns is not gonna work.
We used to drop it in the middle of Afghanistan, not drop it in the middle of this.
Yeah, like,
all right, BRB. I hope I make it back before they go catch this lady.
All right. We see here Enchantress and her brother forming their army. And they got a lot. They got a lot of people
doing those weird ass dances.
Yeah, this was just weird because I'm like, the movements didn't have to happen to showcase that she's using her power. So it was just really weird to see her like, what is this? Yeah, go ahead.
Did you ever sit there and think what it was like for them to transform? I don't know why. Every time I watch this, I'm like, that's horrible. I'm like, you just went from a person to having this like mush as a head, and just like it looks like you're steaming at some point. I'm like, that is terrible. That's a person there. That's horrible.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. That's actually hilarious. We see here 2 mirroring moments. Harley being typical Harley, stealing a purse from a store, and all this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We see Deadshot walking past mannequins that reminded him of what he fights so hard for, which is to get back to his daughter. So I thought those were very important.
Yeah.
And we see right here Rick Flag reminding everyone of what the mission is and where they need to head to. And they're heading to this federal building. This scene right here was kind of like the mind effort, because I was just like, this is so weird. Because they're now being told it's a rescue mission. That they're not stopping Enchantress. It's a rescue mission. They're looking to save someone. To make sure they get out of the area safely. And I love how Deadshot's just like, no, I'm gonna go right in. I'm gonna see what's going on in here.
He's like, screw you, Flag. I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
And that's why I said Deadshot was 100% the leader. Like,
yeah,
100%.
I don't think anyone argues with you with that. I feel like the only person who thought that Flag was in charge was probably Flag, and I feel like at some points he might have had doubts as well.
Yeah, no, if he didn't, he should have, because he was not in charge, not at all. We see Harley.
I love Harley there.
And the team realizing we got
bitches.
I love that text.
What phones do they have?
And we see Harley taking.
I love this. Her going one-on-one.
Yeah. No, talk more about it, Tia. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just love this because it's like, I feel like, maybe if you weren't as big of a Harley fan or whatever, it's like you would sit there like, oh, well, what can she really do? It's like, in her backstory, she's an expert gymnast, and we see her having these very fluid moments that, like she has this backspin and everything. It's not, she is physically like, there and everything. And it's like, I don't know, she does it all in heels. I don't know. I freaking love it. And I just love how she just she's on her own wavelength, like everyone else is somewhere and she is just like in another freaking place.
Mm-hmm.
Beats to her own drum. I love it. So we see the team making their way to the person they're looking to rescue. And this is where I kind of thought like the writing. I don't know who was writing here, but this is bad. We see them realizing that the building is somewhat being overrun. And they got to take some people out to get to where they need to go. This is my favorite part, putting on the mask. I loved it. Deadshot is one of my favorite DC characters all time. And Will Smith just made him so much cooler. And we see them get surrounded by I call them the clay putties. That's what I call them. That's what they look like, the little clay putties from Mortal.
That's great. Yeah, I thought this was a great scene. Them all kind of just like working, together to go up against the clay putties. Deadshot just looks so good in this mask right here. I really liked it, and I wish that he had worn it for a little more. Oh, there was your girl, Kara Fukuhara. This is just great. Look at that spin that freaking Harley's doing. I mean, again, I just love that shit.
And yeah, we got to point this out. I'm gonna play it. We gotta point this out. Oh, no, I thought that was the part where they were playing Ballroom Race, but I think that was just in the trailer. I don't think that was in the actual movie.
I just love the whole like freaking back and forth with say like Diablo, like how he's always trying to like wonder if he should use his powers again, and it's like finally it comes out and his Deadshot is the person to get it out of him.
Mm-hmm. The leader.
The leader, yeah, the leader. He's the one to give the inspiring speech. Fly couldn't give that type of speech.
He's giving it right now. We see him telling him, "Hey, you've been absent this whole fight. It's time to nut up or shut up." I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But that's essentially what he told him. And then we see him get angry.
You want to
Well,
see something?
They are having a pretty childish argument. He's like, "I'm touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm touching you. I'm not." It's like, you are grown men, right? Last time I checked.
It worked.
And they didn't even know what he could actually do. So that was strictly for everybody. They were like, "You had all this time.
Shit was beautiful.
All this time you was holding it."
That's like Okoye in freaking Infinity War when Wanda comes out and she's like, "Why would you get this whole entire time?" Like, oh god, this guy has power this entire time. What the fuck?
You know, this lead up scene to where they're actually going. I kind of I kind of enjoyed like the journey that they went on, where they like actually felt like they had purpose and they were actually trying to do something for good in a sense. And then when they actually realized what they were there for, and that purpose kind of went out of them. Yeah, it was kind of I didn't like that.
Yeah, not the best writing. Not the best writing at all. But this right here was classic.
This is my favorite part.
I'll let you and Tia narrate this scene right here.
So this is where I realized I had problems because this was like, oh my god, he's so sexy here. Like,
he really was.
Yeah, basically, he basically was like, this was everything for me. I can't even talk about it. I just want to watch. But this is the scene between,
interrupt you constantly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He basically, this is the part when she's trying to prove herself, that, I'm worth it. I love you and I'll be here. And he's like, he like, girl, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. He was trying to fight it, but he couldn't.
Well, what I love here is, she's like, "I would die for you," and he's like, "Yeah, but would
you
live for me?" Because that's such a cliche thing.
That line had me melting in my seat. I was done. My whole body went limp. And then this part here, when he pushed her off, in his mind, he was having that weird, I'm going through like feels. And he had to fight, and he came back, and he was like, "Oh man, like it's you that's my weakness." Like he kind of realized like it was her, like she was his weakness. This is the part where he realized it. And I need a
and the Joker knows.
Yeah,
and the Joker knows that it's like he can't have a weakness, but it's like he can't help it. But the thing is that I'll admit to you guys that I love this scene in the movie. But I'm not the biggest fan of this new 52 acid thing for Harley. I'm much more of a fan of the classic where it's like she just became crazy because her love made her so maniacal. But again, I love the scene in the movie, and especially now when she asks pretty much, she's having flashbacks, and there's that scene where it's like she kind of like knows how messed up her attraction to Joker is, and she asks, Deadshot, "Have you ever been in love?" Because it's like only someone who has been in love truly knows that like you'll do some crazy shit for them.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we get back, she snaps out of it. Deadshot says, "Let's go." We see the team right outside of where they need to be to rescue whoever they're looking for. And this is where we start to see who they are rescuing. And this is when I kind of was just like, "You're losing me, David. You're losing me here."
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
Yeah, for so many reasons, it was disrespectful.
I said this bit. Oh.
So we obviously see here Rick Flag led the team to rescuing none other than Amanda Waller herself.
But this is like, okay, I know that this whole plot was shoddy, but this was one of my favorite scenes in the freaking movie. She just shoots everyone. She just shoots every single one of her freaking workers there. And it's like, that just goes to show how ruthless Amanda Waller is. I mean, I was like, oh my God, all these poor people.
I honestly didn't mind this scene. Like I actually, the fact that it actually happened, like it had me like, oh shit. Like all this time he's sitting there talking to her, and it was her all along that she needed help to get out. And she ain't have no quip. She didn't care. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? This is what I get paid for. We going or not? Y'all coming along or what?
She's like, they don't have security clearance. She's like, they don't have security clearance. And I'm like, okay, but you didn't
Why
have to
them there?
Yeah, these poor fuckers.
That was terrible.
I know. All I think about is like me being that poor little receptionist there. It's like, oh God, don't do this.
Yeah, so we see Amanda Waller. No, I'm here. We see Amanda Waller being Amanda Waller, taking out everybody, and Deadshot going, so I'm supposed to be the bad guy? And that's gangsta. I love that. I love his back and forth.
And this is, like I said, this is the part where basically it wasn't this part here. I think it was the part after they found the binder, you know, where that purpose kind of like went out of them. It was like, you know, we're here for, they felt like they were there for a purpose. And it's like, what are you really here for? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want us to be bad guys, let us be what we was at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we honest criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you here with the BS.
Well, what did they say? That it's like, who, you know, politicians are bigger criminals than criminals. It's like, because at least the criminals are, if at least the criminals are honest with the fact that they're the bad guys. So you got people like Amanda Waller, who's supposed to be in this position of power, and she's doing more dirty, sneaky shit than anyone else.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And I love that. It's something so small, but I love that. I love that Katana doesn't just work for Rick Flag. She works for Amanda Waller also. Because we saw Katana ready to defend Waller, and Waller's like, it's all right. Let them take one step, and I'll blow it.
Okay, got it.
I got him, Katana. Like, I love that. And this here, it's debatable between this and those opening montages as my favorite scene of this entire movie. Is seeing them on the rooftop, seeing the helicopter open, and it's none other than her pudding, ready to take her away.
Mm-hmm. I love this because it's like she's like, he ain't do nothing to me. You know, we've got Harley's like, you know, we've had some good memories in this short time, but peace out, bitches.
And look at his attire. I love that he's dressed to impress.
Yeah, he came there prepared and ready.
Yeah, he's there. He's there to pick up his Harley, you know, and I do love that. They're like, oh shit, like we got all this other craziness going on, and now we got to deal with the Joker, and he's just like, I love this. I really do. This is great. Man.
I love this right here. By the way, that suit is very comic accurate of Joker's. It's in one of the stories that leads up to Batman Endgame, which is a brilliant story where Joker cuts off his face. Anyway, this was great. Joker wrote for Harley, telling her, let's go, Puddin'.
And that breathing hard he does, this. Like, geez.
I love this because you see how she almost feels like exhilarated, like, yes, finally, like, here he is, I'm coming, you know, like she just sold this so well right now. Like, they're so enact.
Like, acrobats.
The story of Harley and Joker is they love each other, you know, in a very sick and twisted way.
I love this. Amanda Waller saying, shoot her down, and Deadshot going, she ain't do shit.
She ain't do that to me.
I love it. I love it. And then I love how she's playing games with him. Do it and you get your daughter back. And he's like, oh, you ain't got to say nothing but a word. Hold on 1 second.
But he already knows she full of shit after what they've done dealt with, you know, knowing that they came to pick her up. He already know. And
I love it because right here you feel like, dang, he did it. and then you see her like it looks like she died.
And we know he don't miss, so
Yeah, he doesn't miss, right? So you look at it and you're like, dang, man, you shot Harley, and then it's like, nope, that's
she's
just
like,
Deadshot was sitting there going, yeah, she's with Harley now, but I'm going to be her future ex-husband. I can't shoot her.
100%. 100%. I love that because it proves. Go ahead, Tia.
No, because I was in an animated movie, right? Didn't they bang?
Yes. Yeah, I just said it at the beginning of this, and now I completely went blank. But now we see Harley and Joker reunited. Glad to be back together. But we see that it is very much short-lived. And I love that. She goes, "You got dressed up for me?" And he's like, "You know I'd do anything for you." And then we see them get shot out of the air. Harley get ejected and separated from Joker yet again. I love this though because it kind of feels like they're supposed to jump together, and then we just see Harley fall herself. And look how enraged he is. He's like, "I'm losing her again."
But didn't he like push her? Because it's like technically he's going to be the one who's dying. She's going to be the one who's living, you know? And it's like, would you live for me? And it's like.
No, I think they were supposed to jump together. And I think the explosion kind of ricocheted her out. That's why he was screaming as she was falling. Because he had no way of knowing that she was going to fall somewhere safe.
I love the scene, by the way, where it's like everyone's standing there and it's like everyone knows who the Joker is. Everyone knows how much the Joker means to Harley. And it's like, even though freaking, you know, Joker's a bad guy and like no one really likes the Joker, it's like everyone almost feels like sympathetic for Harley in this upcoming moment, knowing that how much this is going to hurt her. And even though she's crazy and has vexed them and all that, it's like they still know that like, wow, this is intense, because for all they know, you know, Joker's dead. It's like this is an end. This is crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And we see Enchantress's brother take down Amanda Waller's helicopter. I did think David Ayer was gonna do something crazy and kill her off. I honestly did, but of course not, man.
Amanda.
You don't waste Viola Davis.
Oh no. No way. But this is where.
Go ahead, Jacoy.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was still getting the last piece of shrimp in. This is where, you know, the purpose went away.
Yeah, when they find her her briefcase with all her information in it.
Mm-hmm.
There was David Harbour.
We see Rick Flag leading the team back to the ground to go see if Amanda Waller survived.
You're like, we did our part. Yeah, sure. Mission's over.
I love that, honestly. I love the whole, I did my job, man. If she's dead, she's dead. Whatever. Beat goes on. You know, you have to fulfill the promise that you made to us. And Rick Flag's like, if she's dead, there is no promise. They're not going to fulfill nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So if she dies, that's it for y'all.
Still stringing them along, knowing all along they ain't have no intention of doing anything for them. But I don't think Rick Flag knew that.
I do love this moment here. Harley kind of is starting to come to grips with the fact that Joker might be dead. And it's time to move on. And then look, trying to be her natural Harley self. She's freaking out.
Because she always has to put on a performance. You know, she can't
all the
let
time
people know that she's vulnerable, you know, or sad. It's like, oh, hey.
What the circus said, the show must go on. So with hers, the show must go on. I always seem like her and Desha had like a big brother, little sister kind of thing going on.
No,
I like that.
No,
what siblings have you been looking at? I don't have siblings, but I know that there is not that type of tension between siblings.
I didn't see it.
No, there was definitely a loving tension being built there. You know,
Oh man, I saw it all throughout the freaking like movie. It was okay. Joker's dead. That means Harley and Deadshot they're gonna do the deed.
the problem is it wasn't made super obvious because I think if you go into the logic of it, it was Deadshot saying, as long as Joker is alive, I want nothing to do with Harley. Like nothing.
True.
Those are not problems I want.
Well, we saw what happened. We saw what happened to Common.
Oh, exactly.
And he didn't even want anything to do with Harley.
He was like, no, thank you. And Joker's like, oh, you denying
Like,
it?
oh, you denying my girl?
Okay. All right.
You don't think she's pretty?
He was not liking that. And we see them taking hold of Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller's being taken prisoner by Enchantress. So we see our characters making it back to the street to where Amanda Waller's plane has crashed to kind of see what's left and what happened there. And they come across the briefcase, as Jacoya was saying before, and that's when they lose all hope in their purpose. And I will say, the scene that comes right after this is one of the worst scenes in superhero movie history because it's like the weirdest thing ever. It's like, picture if in Avengers, remember when Cap fell down and Iron Man got hit by some of the Chitauri and it looks like our heroes are starting to fail? Picture if right after that was the scene of Shawarma. We'd be like, what the hell?
Okay, but I loved it though. I'm sorry, I loved it because they're the bad guys, and it's like, what are they gonna do? I'm sorry, okay. The end of the freaking world is happening. Guess what I'm doing? I'm getting a freaking cocktail.
I'm getting a freaking drink.
I'm getting a drink. I'm not dying sober
at all.
I still thought it's
at
not
all.
where you should have put it. It's not where you should have put it. It's just so
But
weird.
where else? The bar was right there.
Yeah.
They just found out that they were like completely lied to.
Right.
As of right now, I don't care about what's going on. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die. If it's gonna be by the thing of my neck or gonna be by this alien thing, it's a wrap. That's it.
They're like,
why, no more.
They're like, why should I care about the mission? Like, if the whole city's gonna get swallowed up anyway, I might as well go make myself some margaritas. Shit. I agree, 100%.
I completely hated it. I thought it was just so because it's right as you're about to end the movie. It's not like going into the final battle. I guess that was the big speech to kind of rally the troops, but it was just like, this is killing me. Like, sitting in the theater, I'm like, I had to pee. I'm like, I could have went to go pee during this scene. I wouldn't have missed a thing. I love it. Rick Flag saying, hey, Deadshot, I need your help. And Deadshot's like, screw you. And then, obviously, as the leader he is, everybody follows in suit of Deadshot.
Poor Rick Flag really got his ass handed to him this whole movie. He really, was showing how insignificant he was. Like, even Katana's like, you know what, I guess I'll go drink with these losers.
And Katana, she saw that she was lied to as well.
Exactly. So now it's like time for a drink. Okay. The scene that frickin' Juwan hates so much, but I love it.
Well, it's horribly placed.
I don't think how.
I really do. I'm about to fall asleep watching it right now. I want to fast forward.
Oh my goodness. There was no other place in the scene for them to go and have this actual drink and conversation to show that
have it in there.
They needed it. They had to show a part here where it was like we gave up all hope, and then they realized, listen, we are the hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it, like, okay, we gave up the hope because we got lied to, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, we are the bad guys, but we are the ones that's needed right now in this moment. So that's where this scene had to happen for them to get that out. I'm sorry. I liked it.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, I loved Deadshot's freaking lines here. I loved Diablo's lines here. I felt like they needed a reason to give a shit, and this was their reason to give a shit. And this is finally the big reveal as to why Diablo's so guarded, why he's so hesitant in using his powers. Is that, he, did something that was so unspeakable to the point that like everyone else is looking at him like, oh man, we've done some bad shit, but we've never done that.
And then Cardi says what? And what? Own that.
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Yeah,
That's who you are. And that's when it switched.
The logic is just still off. It's like, all right, you kind of gave up.
You just don't give nobody no credit.
No, you gave up thinking, hey, if we're gonna die, we're gonna die. And then it's like, all right, but if we're gonna die, I'm gonna die fighting. Like, what?
Yeah, that happens. Jawan, that happens in like every superhero movie where they have that moment where they think that it happened even in Guardians of the Galaxy where like Rocket didn't want to do shit, to freaking go up against Ronan, and it's like then you needed that moment where you rally the freaking troops where they finally gave a shit, and this is their moment that they finally gave a shit.
Yeah, I could have taken less of it. I'm just like I'm not really that invested to hear why Diablo is the way he is. I'm like, all this here you put in to take out my Joker scenes. Take all this out. I don't need.
All right. Well, this is how I felt in Age of Ultron when freaking they took 20 minutes for Clint's family. So that's the same feeling.
Look, Tia, you get no argument from me. I sat through that and went, what am I watching? What is this? I'm like, Ultron's out there killing people, and you're like, let's take a break on Clint's farm, guys. We got to kind of regroup a little bit. What? People are dying. What do you?
Yeah, but that was like that was 20 minutes. This is like 5.
This is 20 minutes. Yeah, this is pretty long. I'm sitting here and I'm like, we're not even close to the scene being over. Yeah, but you're here, Jacoya.
I love it.
You're telling him to own it. Own it. That you did it. Own it. She's like, you think I feel bad about killing a 10-year-old Robin? No, I owned it. I killed him.
Well, she's pretty much just like, stop like dragging your feet, feeling all this sort of sorriness and being a fucking wet blanket this whole time. She was like, yeah, you killed them. All right. Admit it. Move on, pretty much. I know
because horrible, it's holding you back. It's holding you back right now. Yeah, we're the bad guy. It's ugly.
I mean, no. This was an important.
This was weird. Okay, this was a strange thing. I'm not ugly. I'm beautiful, and I'm like, oh, jeez. Like that's the most awkward delivered line.
I hate to see it to you.
It's like they almost forgot that Killer Croc was in the movie, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta give him a line.
I'm dead.
And Rick Flag's like, oh, Jesus Christ. What happened to my life? Where did I go wrong?
Saying yes to Amanda Waller, usually.
He's like, all I wanted to do was be with my gal and eat some chicken. And this shit happened.
Hell out of that chicken to you.
He was going hard on that shit.
Yeah, he was definitely.
Oh, man. All right. Oh, God.
But we obviously are still seeing Rick Flag tell him, hey, look, we had a mission. You guys know your mission. I need your help. That's essentially what it was coming down to. You guys going to help me or not?
I love this shit. Okay, I love this shit. He's like, you're free to go. And without hesitation, Boomerang just gets the hell up and walks out. He's like, that's it. That's all I needed.
This part here was messed up. He had all them letters from his dad, from his daughter.
Oh, yeah, that was fucked up.
That the prison guard was holding.
Right. So that was as Tia said before, that was him letting Deadshot know you have something to fight for. Like, This isn't just about like, hey, if I die, I die. It's like, yo, did you forget you have a daughter?
Yeah.
You know, if we don't do this, she gonna die, because that's basically the end of the world, is the end of her.
Yeah. And I love how he was blaming Rick Flag and Amanda.
And he took it because he knew that he needed to get that out at that time.
He wanted his daughter to know that he's not a piece of shit. He's like, I want my daughter to know I'm not that bad. Like, how do you kill people for a living? That's.
But I also save the world.
I don't really think that.
Listen, he kills people for money. It's a job. You know, we all gotta do crazy things to make money in this world.
Tia, no. It's a job is what you tell your kids when you had to be a stripper to pay rent. Not that you can kill people. Like,
listen, he makes over like $1 million per job. I mean, shit.
Tia,
That'll send your kids to Ivy League schools.
my dad came to me and said, Jawan, you know all those nice things you had since you were a baby? Yeah, I had some really nice things, Dad. Games and toys whenever I wanted. I had to kill people to get it. I wouldn't be like, oh, well, you had to do what you had to do. I'm like, what? What? I don't want any of this stuff anymore. Like, that's crazy. Take all this stuff back.
I mean, what do you think the Gotti family did or anything? You know, that whole.
It's business. This is business.
This is
business.
Y'all
it's not personal. It's just business.
Y'all are crazy.
You're applying real life morality to comic book morality. It's completely different.
You just gave real life morality on they needed to pick me up. All right, Tia,
oh man! All right, well, what's going on now?
All right. To the final battle, Tia.
All right, so this is the point where again they forgot that Killer Croc was in the movie, so they're like, let's give him a scene, and you know Scott Eastwood is like, what are we gonna do? There's water, and he's like, don't worry, I got it. I ain't asking, bro. And it's like, oh Jesus Christ. And, you know, he like scurries in like some sort of like fish, like a guppy over there. Rick Flag's getting all prepared. Harley's getting all prepared. Her makeup is everywhere. She clearly didn't use the right foundation. Frickin' there's Boomerang. Oh yeah, Katana has that weird moment where she talks to her sword. Because again, they probably forgot that she was also in the movie. They need to give her a moment. Then they talk about the sword.
Wait, hold on.
So much sword play here.
Hold on. Because you are not about to be my wife. She's talking to her sword.
I was just.
Her soul.
I know.
Husband has her dead husband, and all the souls of the people she killed inside that sword. So she kind of talks to them as a warrior chant.
I know. I was just being an asshole. I wanted to get
my wife
a rise out of you.
It worked.
All right, so we got. There was a shot of Killer Croc again. There's the beefed up dudes now walking. I don't know what Rick Flag thinks that his little gun is going to do against this shit, but he's like, God, I hope she's still alive. I'm too
There's
old
always
to be
like
single.
one of the American heroes in there. He's the American hero of the movie.
Exactly. The red, white, and blue there, you know. But they're in a subway system. Deadshot is asking Diablo if he's actually going to do his shit. Oh, geez, and there's all this freaking light show over here. We're gonna see Enchantress do her little dance, and Rick Flag is like, you know what? I'm kind of into this. Next time we're in the bedroom together, if you can wear this outfit. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. All right. This is I love that. When Harley's like, is this really happening? I'm off my meds. And I'm like, yeah, it's been a few days probably.
Yeah.
For you. You know. So, oh God, this is ridiculous. Where did Deadshot? He was like, just go up there and smack her on the ass or something. And I'm like, what is going on right now? That is not the conversation we should be having at this moment. Right, Juwan?
100%. It was just like, that was weird.
By the way, I feel like you're Boomerang throughout this movie because everything that Katana does, Boomerang is so infatuated with it. And every time Katana does something, you're so infatuated with it. I love this scene where Harley is just like so willing to go to Enchantress and Deadshot has to be like, come here, you crazy lady. So pretty much in this scene, pretty much in this scene, Enchantress is showing all of them what she can provide for them if they simply just give up. But we all know this is bullshit, right, guys? This ain't happening.
It's always a story.
Will Smith in his pimp ass hat. He killed the Batman there. That's his dream, obviously. I love this scene, by the way. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I love it.
I love it.
That Harley had these like domesticated ideals of the Joker, and Joker looks normal there. What did you think about this, Joanne?
I thought he looked like he could do a remake of American Psycho right there.
Yo, he still had the crazy on him.
He was in American Psycho. Well, he was in American Psycho, so you know. And then
he was.
There's Rick Flag. Imagining what it would be like to wake up with June and everything be all normal and her not
the normal crazy, June.
The normal June. I like this where it was Diablo who was the one to snap everyone out of it. Like realize you're all
like, this shit ain't real.
Yeah, you're all being slave to your mind right now. This is totally fake. And we need to go and fight against this Enchantress lady.
What was weird about excuse me, what was weird about Flag kind of being in that mental state of kind of picturing what it would be like is Enchantress would have to die for you to get June back. So it's like your whole imagination is stupid and flawed because as long as Enchantress is alive.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. But they're not realizing that right now. They're just being shown what they want to see. So that's why it was important for Diablo here to be the one to kind of pull them out of there and then confront Enchantress right now and say, like, we're not going to fall for your shit.
And it was also the test there for Flag to see, like, do you love her enough to let her go? Understanding that, you had to kill the Enchant. He didn't know that she was going to come back. He didn't know that June was going to come back, but he knew that he wanted to release her. So it was like, do you love her enough to want to keep her like this because she's here? Or do you love her enough to let her go? You know what I'm saying? Knowing that she wouldn't want this to be, of her.
Yeah, this scene right here is the exact reason why you needed Joker as the main villain. The demon walks up and squares up with him. Like, that was like the weirdest visual.
It was. That whole thing with the brother was very strange. I really disliked it. There was little to no reason for that. But I did like we eventually see Diablo in his full form.
Yeah, that bugged me out.
It always felt unanswered to me because maybe I just don't know about this character. But I was like, is he like an Aztec god or something like that?
I don't remember. I know I looked it up after the movie came out. I just don't remember right now.
Yeah, well, that was just my one thing. But then I thought that was really cool to see, like, wow, the real, like, power, not only the power that this guy possesses, but the fact that he could be technically, like, maybe even a deity was something that really should have been explored more, But of course, we see everyone going up against this, like, oh, Jesus, I have to watch this for a second. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's so cool looking. I just love that shit.
Diablo finally transforms into his full-on Diablo form, and then we see him versus Enchantress's brother, going mano a mano. And as Tia definitely pointed out, and she was very accurate about, they did this just so Killer Croc could have something to do.
Well, I only got that from you, and then the more I look at it, especially now that we're rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. You're completely freaking right. 100%. So, oh God. And okay, so like Scott Eastwood died, right? That's so sad.
Wait, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot!
Right? Didn't he? Because he was down there with him.
Yeah, he sacrificed himself for the team.
Right.
Yeah. Diablo's
but we don't know that. We never saw
a
body. We never saw a body, so we don't know.
I don't know. I doubt they're going to explore something like that in the second Suicide Squad. Oh, well, I would love for Diablo to still be alive, you know? That would be like,
I think they said he was.
I don't know, really cool.
I think Jay Hernandez hinted at it.
I just don't know how you could be like a fire god and that explosion kills you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you're gonna have this enchantress in it who's like super old, then you're gonna have this deity who's also super old and who can survive pretty much anything. Like, I don't know how explosions can kill, but now, you know, that explosion happened, right? And they're kind of like left in the wake of all of this. And Joanne, I'm not doing a very good job of this. I think you should take over.
No, I like what you're doing, but I got you. So the explosion happens, and we see the team walking up to Enchantress. Enchantress is letting them know the spell is complete. My job, I did my job. Now the world will plunder into darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to execute her plan. This is when the
Which I always.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I always got always super confused whenever a villain has that sort of like motive where they're like, everything's gonna go into darkness. I'm like, well, technically then you'll die too, but okay. Weird, but all right there. Yeah, okay, so this is my one thing about the DCEU films, especially in this beginning. It's like there's so much destruction that you're like, how is there any world left after any DC movie? Because this is just insane. It looks like she's already like destroying everything, and then she becomes like Gollum over here. Like, what the hell is going on?
I will.
They have Bruce Wayne in there with all his money to build everything back up, I guess.
I will say that's the biggest.
I guess so.
That's the biggest difference is in Wonder Woman, they were isolated. So that wasn't like a destruction of like a whole town or city or state.
Mm.
But I will say this. DC has nothing on the Transformers franchise. Transformers.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Like Chicago. Chicago. Like it's off the map.
But at least when we came back to the next movie, it was still messed up.
Right.
It wasn't like it was automatically, you know, the stadiums was up and everybody was, you know, good to go. They at least showed us the destruction. Like, okay, it's continuing on. It didn't magically appear that everything was all good.
True, but I will always say with superhero movies, time usually shouldn't matter. So if you say from Man of Steel to BVS is a year later, 6 months later, 8 months later, usually that's enough time to rebuild some stuff.
I mean, anything when it comes to Gotham comics, stuff like that, I've always seen anything with comics. That's just what it is. Like how you have in certain cartoons, when a cartoon character dies, the cartoon character is back the next day. So like I've never seen anything when it comes, like you said, with comic book characters when things change. I never seen it as an issue, but it is something like think about. Like, hey, how does that happen?
Yeah, it's always a question mark, but they're kind of like, hey,
I don't know.
Don't worry.
It's like no.
They do like road work on the same road for like 6 years here in like New York. So I don't know. They're really quick in these type of
It's so
movies.
true.
So
who's fighting? Oh, that was Croc that threw somebody?
Yeah, that was Killer Croc getting back into the frame to remind us again that he's
here.
B matters.
I do like this visual though of like Enchantress kind of like, as much as I hated her dancing and her outfit, but I do like her in this like dark shadowy-ness and like crackling pretty much. That did feel like a cool visual to me.
Yeah, and I like Harley kind of rallying her troops right here.
Mm-hmm. She like, listen.
What's the world ever done to us? We're one of those people who live in this world.
Uh-huh.
I always said that this Suicide Squad was like the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC universe. That's just what it felt like to me. And like, you remember in Guardians where it's like, what do we care about the universe? It's like, we're the idiots who live in it. But I do like how I do like in this scene where it's like you think that Harley's going to be the one who's going to give up, right? Who's going to be like, you know, I've lost everything. You know, what do I care about saving the world? So I'm just going to give in because you're going to give me my pudding back. But her just pretty much like feeling enough of a connection to all these people to say that they're my friends and I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to actually, So I did
Save
like
them.
that it was Harley, and then she cuts Enchantress's heart out so that it can be shanked, and hopefully June will still be there because Rick Flag is like, damn, it's been a while, and I don't know, I don't have time to find a girlfriend, so that would suck. But slow shot of the gun being tossed, and that is just a really cool gun, I have to say.
Yes.
And of course, you go to Rick Flag, not Rick Flag, wow, Deadshot, because he's literally the best shot, and you should always trust him. This was a little too slow motion for me. Oh God, Killer Croc, you.
It went with the
terrible.
music.
It did go with the music.
But right now it does look like it's on 5 times right now. 5x. It does look like it's on.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I do remember correctly. What is he?
Oh, this was terrible. She did this.
I hate it. Don't do it, Daddy. Please. Don't do it. It's like, you asshole. Daddy, I love you.
He was like, ah.
All right, speed up. Wow. Will Smith has really white teeth.
But he ain't get them
Yes,
bottom teeth done, though.
dentist.
I know that much. All that money.
Oh, wow. He's still contemplating on shooting. I do like that how the barrel switches. That is really cool. And then Enchantress looks like she's about to catch it, like she's the catcher for the Yankees or something.
Okay.
Which that doesn't work out.
I got it.
So obviously they succeed in what they want to do, falling debris everywhere. Hope no one was standing because you are screwed if you were.
All right.
The debris settles. Everyone gets up from their epic superhero pose, and Rick Flag has a weird hug moment with Deadshot, and I don't know.
He thought they were bros at that moment. Bros.
The shippers online loved this scene. There's Katana about to let him join my brother. Katana was about to go in. Like, your girl, Katana,
she was ready.
She was ready, and like Rick Flag just didn't want that, obviously. This was weird. I felt like this was a little weird where, Enchantress is kind of crawling around with mud on her again, while everyone's just kind of like standing around and be like, are we taking this shit seriously right now? And then he crushed, what is that he's crushing? That's her heart, right? He's like crushing it.
Yeah, that's the heart he had to destroy.
Yeah. So, and as you said, Jacoya, you said before, like, Rick Flag didn't know if June was going to live after this. It was him making that sacrifice that he had to do that. And it had to be him. It had to be him who was the one who potentially killed the love of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's happening right now. We're just kind of waiting here. Katana, badass. There you go.
Because she was about ready.
She was about ready. Rick Flag's having that cinematic walk away moment when
She
finally
cut that head off.
June's waking up right now. It's like, look, man, there's your girl. She's waking up and she's like, shit, I need a facial right now and some bath salts and some champagne because it has been a freaking day. Is she naked?
No, she's not.
She's not naked. Okay. Harley has that moment there where it's like she's sad because here's two people who love each other who are reunited, but she didn't have that moment with the Joker, and she almost had to like force herself to kind of smile because it's like she is happy, but at the same time it's like it's unfair, like for her, like
because she don't have that full him. She don't have the 100% of him, so she knows like he's there, but she knows that he's really not there. You know what I'm saying? She enjoyed the little bit that she's receiving. And here go Amanda behind here, came out the like they like, why? Like, how did she even make it? Like,
I agree.
When she came out that back,
where it's like
she came out that back. I was so angry.
I felt the same way.
I was like, oh, hell, in the theater. I was so bad.
I felt the same way. I felt the same way that everyone else did on this team, where it's like, are you serious? You're coming out there with the freaking phone ready to blast necks off, and it's like, do you not see what just happened? Amanda's like, I give no
Okay.
shit. I give no shit. That was yesterday's news. Guess what today's news is? You're all still criminals. Like, and you're all
Back to
going
business. Back to jail. Let's go. Like, she lied to all of them. Like, that was terrible. She literally lied. Like, but you told us. Whoa.
I love this moment of Deadshot having a moment with his daughter,
Yes.
and Rick Flag is there as the weird uncle. It's like, hey, there you go. There's Rick Flag. You know, I do like this. I like how it just felt very authentic. Deadshot being a father, nothing felt forced or anything. And I also like how Rick Flag kind of stops this.
Yeah, like, what was y'all doing?
You know, I mean, Rick Flag and Deadshot, you know, have a bond from the experience that they were in. But, you know, to those officers, it's just like, oh, this is
you here for our job. I don't care. You see him with his daughter. I don't care. I didn't like that.
I think that was supposed to kind of show, like, how there's a disconnect there, you know?
And how their relationship changed.
Yeah.
How Rick's and Deadshot relationship changed.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely write to each other. Like, they hang out, you know. Rick Flag definitely wishes that they were drinking beers, watching, you know, football or some shit. This is just such a nice moment between Deadshot hugging his daughter. Like, I definitely am going to miss seeing this with Deadshot and his daughter in future movies. So, okay, so they're back at the prison. Harley looks great. She's having some of her espresso from I think she had demanded that.
Yeah, one of her demands.
Killer Croc wants something, right? Didn't he want, like...
I didn't like this.
He wanted cable.
No,
Jacoya,
no.
He wanted BET?
He had BET on, Jacoya.
Wow, do I have to pause this right now? Just
because I got so angry watching that. I'm watching and I'm like, seeing big booties on the screen, dancing and gyrating around. I'm like, all right, come on, y'all.
Y'all was able to watch Enchantress for the whole movie in her two-piece, so let him be able to enjoy what he want to enjoy.
No.
Well, you have to imagine, he literally has like crocodile skin. He probably doesn't get laid, so it's like
at all.
He wants to see some booty.
Yeah. That's not the underlining of it. What was the race of?
And I understand. It's like, I understand that, and as a white person, I can't comment on that, but it's like, I'm just saying that he is a crocodile man, and it's like, I doubt that he's been laid in a really long time, and he wants to see a nice booty.
That was mad. Like, you could have had him watching like a show, a movie. You got him watching BET, a BET music video where they're twerking and stuff in it. It wasn't a good look.
So would you say? So would you say that you would ask David Ayer about that if you had the chance? You'd be like,
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to know nothing else but why that scene was put in there, David Ayer. That was why? What was that? What was that?
But we saw Margot Robbie in her bra and everything.
We sure did. Getting undressed in front of a bunch of men.
And there's Captain Boomerang being loud. He clearly didn't get shit. Like, everyone else got something, and he just got like angry, pretty much. Deadshot's. What did you say?
He didn't negotiate. Remember, he came there after everybody.
That's right. Yeah. So Harley's just like, oh, I love that. I love this scene. I was so happy that they decided to do this. So obviously Harley's in her cage and there's an explosion. All these like people are coming, they're shooting it. That's ensuing. You're like, what the hell is going on right now? Now someone's coming and they're freaking sawing Harley's cage open. Like, what the hell? And I will tell you that I definitely saw this coming once this happened. I'm like, it's Joker. It's Joker. It's 100% Joker.
That's hilarious.
Joker. And there he is. And this is what I'm saying. Like, what you were talking about, Juwan, is like, their Joker is, he literally, like, literally breaks Harley out of prison And that's how Suicide Squad ends. And that's at the beginning of Birds of Prey. It's that he broke up with her.
Very confusing. And that's why I said I would definitely ask David Ayer that, because he wrote it. So I'm like, a lot of this David Ayer, albeit they might have cut a lot of what you wanted. You wrote this, and I'm curious as to why you wrote this and how much of this writing got skewed.
Well, I mean, I think that he probably did. And listen, I can't say anything. I'm not freaking David Ayer. He probably did write that Joker came to get Harley in the end, you know. But I think that what Birds of Prey want to do is they just wanted to sweep the whole thing about Joker quickly under the rug because, so Joanne, you and I talked about earlier how you don't really go on Twitter, but it's like the internet like hates their relationship and does not want it. And I think that you have now this like this group of people who are like wanting so desperately to erase Joker. I mean, we saw all of the controversy with the Joker movie when it was coming out. So it's like, I think, to maybe Kathy Ann, it was like, well, frick, we're just going to make sure that Joker isn't even part of the equation.
And that was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted them to break up, because albeit they're not a healthy relationship, I would have liked to see that, not have from one movie where it's like he's literally, fighting tooth and nail to get her back, to the beginning of one. It's like, oh, he broke up. He broke up with me, and it's like that's just not good. And that just goes to show like how much disconnect there is going on between DC and their, freaking writers. And also I think that how DC kind of bends to the will of, various fans most often.
Yeah, they definitely fell under that pressure, but of social media. But I don't think it was enough for them to have actually changed that, when that is the history, that's their relationship, and that's who the characters are. There's nothing new. It's nothing new about Joker and Harley Quinn.
We get right here Amanda Waller talking to my dad, and they're talking about Bruce wants some files on some people that he's interested in. And Amanda Waller is pretty much telling him, why is this so important to you? And he's telling her, mind your damn business.
Okay, I did what you wanted me to do. Now stand down.
So we see the file. We see Flash. We see Aquaman. We already know Bruce knows Wonder Woman. They have an alliance already. Yeah, him, like I just said, telling her to mind her business. Excuse me. And then this here was so much fun for us in the theater to see Amanda Waller make it known that she knows he's Batman. And then Bruce. Okay, this is where I said I will never forgive David Ayer for this. This was the stupidest dialogue I had ever seen in my life. We can go ahead.
But it's cheesy. You don't ever think that Batman movies, like when it comes to like the comic, and that's why I like the older Batman movies. Like it's cheesy, and I don't know why, but I like the cheesiness because it's comics. It's not supposed to be like realistic in a sense. It's supposed to have that comic mindset where it's cheesy and we know it's not real, but it's like it's their alternate universe of what's real. I love the cheesiness.
No. My issue with it was only it made no sense, because when you say shut it down before me and my friends shut it down for you, it made no sense because they're not your friends yet. You just got the file. You don't even know them yet.
And then
in his mind, he's Bruce Wayne, and he can do whatever he want to do.
And how did Amanda Waller know? Like, what evidence was there for her to know that Bruce Wayne was Batman?
She's Amanda Waller.
To be fair, in the comics and in the cartoons, all the time, Amanda Waller made it clear she always had an eye on Batman.
Yes.
And she even said it once. It wasn't that hard to deduce, like, where Batman arrives, Bruce Wayne always disappears from. So she was kind of just.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller is one of those people that would have looked at Clark and said, "You're Superman." And he would have been like, "What?" Yeah, no, I'm not stupid. That I was fine with. I didn't mind that. That was super cool and accurate. What I hated was, well, you better stop it, Amanda, or me and my friends will stop it for you. What friends, Bruce? You just got the file. You don't even.
Okay, but yeah. That scene for me was another reason why I just disliked Ben Affleck's Batman, because I was like, this is so weird. Like, you sound like you're not even in that. I don't know. I didn't necessarily like that end scene. I know that was supposed to be the tease to Justice League, but I disliked it. But yeah, Amanda Waller, she's coming back for the Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
scared.
I'm
scared.
Why are you scared?
I mean, I'm excited, but I'm just saying, like, what the hell is she gonna do now? Like, what storyline we gonna get?
That's what I'm excited for. I want to know.
It's like, damn, she was always in some crap, man.
Yeah.
Do you think she's gonna try to use? They're gonna try to have her use the fact that she knows that he's Batman to get him to do what she wants him to do?
No, because that Batman doesn't exist. That Batman.
Juwan, according to all the Snyder cultists on Twitter, who clearly know so much, and Robert Pattinson is out, and Ben Affleck is returning as Bruce Wayne.
Oh my gosh!
We're not giving any credence.
We're not gonna do that.
That's stupidity. We know better. We know way.
I know.
We know better than that. But no. I mean, so no. To answer your question, Jacoya, no, that won't be something that's ever discussed or talked about, purely because that Batman specifically does not exist anymore. So we don't have to worry about hearing anything about that. But I will say, funny thing is, David Ayer kept saying that this movie was supposed to be a blend right into Justice League with parademons and everything. And I'm like, just anything would have been better than Space Witch. But again, overall, this movie gets way more hate than it deserves. I hated like 3 scenes out of it, but I had fun with the movie. Like, I watched it here and I didn't have any problem. Usually when I watch it myself, the bar scene is the only thing like I'll completely skip past. But everything else is fine. It's in the flow of the story, and I don't mind it. I don't know why people hate it. I don't know why it gets so much crap. But it's fine to me. I just find it funny that people will glaringly destroy this movie, but no one ever talks about Thor: The Dark World. Like, no one just randomly says, you know, a movie really sucked? Thor 2. No one ever just really says that. But everyone will just randomly go, I hate Suicide Squad. It's like, what? No one even asked you anything. Why
the people who dislike it are not even actual comic fans. That's the whole thing that bugs me out. It's like everybody has this mindset of what imagery is supposed to look. And when I read a book, like when everybody was mad about 50 Shades of Grey, right? Everybody read the books. All the ladies were at home on their washing machine and dryers, you know what I'm saying, acting up, reading their books. And they had their own visual of who their Grey was, you know? So when they seen the Grey that was chosen, it was, oh, that's not my Grey. Nobody said that was supposed to be your Grey. You didn't write the book. But your vision of who you felt like this character is supposed to look like, how they supposed to dress, how they supposed to sound, you know, that was your mental of what you felt. So I think people have to learn to, like, pull back a little bit. It's just like, you too in. And that helps to ruin it for other people who are, you know, who are like new to the genres. It makes it bad for people to actually want to come in. But if you just bagging on it, you know what I'm saying, off the bat.
I just think with Suicide Squad, it became one of those things where it was popular to dislike it and kind of popular to hate on it, and that's how it grew.
Exactly.
To me, when I watched it in the theaters, I really enjoyed it. I walked out of the theater like feeling so happy and like invigorated. When I saw so much hate and when I continuously see so many people putting it down, I'm like, where does that really come from? I'm like, yes, okay, like we watched him and, you know, the Enchantress wasn't the best decision for a villain in it, but it's like, really, what did you hate about it? So, like, people hate, it's only now, right? It's only now that everyone's going, oh, the Ayer Cut, the Ayer Cut. And it's like, suddenly it seems like people are like, their mindset switched so quick on it. But about, 6 months ago, everyone was like, Suicide Squad is trash.
Yeah, because
Suicide
that was popular opinion, and we live in a world where people don't know how to think for themselves, so they go by popular opinion. I have to sound like everybody else, and I can't stand out and say, you know what, I actually like this movie. And that's how I was on my social media. I was like, oh wow, I love it. I had a great time. I took my girls, actually I took the girls after work. I used to work at a adult education program on 121st Street and 7th Avenue in Harlem. And we walked right on over to Matty Johnson Theater. And I had got tickets early for my mom. The girls had came and they had their little jackets on. And, we had a really nice time and we enjoyed it. The soundtrack was good. The visuals were beautiful. Like, and again, I also know, like, for like first movies, I don't really put a lot on it because they have to do the intro. You know what I mean? They have to do the intro. They have to tell you who all the characters are. They have to do a little bit of backstory. They can't really do everything you want them to do. Like, this is going to be a series, so you have to wait. This is what we have right now. It'll come down the line. People don't get it. I don't know.
Well, to me, it's like, if you generally just didn't like it, where you walked away and you're like, yeah, I didn't think it was that fun. I whatever. But fine. I'm not saying you have to like it, but this whole thing where it suddenly becomes popular to hate on it for apparently no real reason, where it's like, what? Because I don't know, like, what you have the people who hate the Joker, hate the fact that they saw Joker and Harley on screen together. It's like, this is something that comic book fans have been wanting for years, and it's just because you now are suddenly figuring out who the hell Joker is, and and it's like toxic relationship and blah blah blah.
Okay.
It's like, it's like, take
we
that
all in
somewhere
the era of everybody being offended about stuff. Like, this is not for you then. Like, get up out of here.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my God, it's women's rights. It's like, everybody has something to cry about. Like, we're not here. This is for the comic book folks who are here for the destruction. We here for the toxicity. We here for all the bad stuff. We here for it.
it's like, I don't need you to make a statement with Harley and Joker. Like, they're Harley and Joker. Like, that's how it is.
Okay.
Like, I don't need that in my, like, get off with it.
I'm not self-reflecting here. It's not a self-reflection of me. I'm just here I'm here for the show.
Exactly. It's like, we became in an era the past few years where it's like, suddenly everyone started, like, disliking bad guys. You couldn't have a bad guy who actually had a backstory. You couldn't have a bad guy who actually had layers. It's like, they wanted this very, like, caricature of a bad person. And it's like, no, that's not good for a good story writing. Bad people, need that kind of, like, layers to them. And it's like, I'm sorry that you are so, like, insecure, or you're, whatever, you can't handle it, pretty much. And it's like, I'm sorry that you can't handle that, that you need to just present it as, like, a freaking, you
gotta pretend that everything's all peaches and cream and rainbows and butterflies, and it's not. And that's why I like when we offer DC stuff, but I like how they did Maleficent. I don't know if anybody watched that, but I like how they flipped that. It was amazing how they did that.
But no one said shit about that. No one said shit about that, right? And it's like, no one said, like, oh, how dare they, give Maleficent a backstory where we actually feel sympathetic towards her. It's like, no, we need to just see her as the evil witch that she is. But it's like something like, say, Joker. It's like, people didn't even see the movie and they were up in arms with,
exactly.
How dare you?
Where's your movie stuff at? Where's your movie stuff?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And to me, that just makes no sense. And this is as someone who does identify as a feminist. And it's like, to me, that feels so, like, double standard to say that, one or the other. And I just didn't like that at all. So I know that's, like, a huge rant, but I feel like that's where most of the hate for Suicide Squad stems from, is the fact that, first of all, not everyone likes Jared Leto, right? And then you have Jared Leto playing a character that all,
and they was hating him too. It was like it was like personal. They was getting personal when it came. This is business. I wanted to show y'all the girls. One year I had dressed the girls up as I don't even know where the hell my camera's at. I dressed them up as the Joker and Harley Quinn one year.
I love that. That's so cute.
And they were like the bee's knees that year. Because everybody didn't understand, like, oh my God, I wouldn't think that. Everybody was being princesses and Disney princess and stuff, and we like, no, we're gonna do the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but no, I mean, look, this movie is unrightfully criticized and ridiculed. I don't think it's the best DC movie, not even close. But it's nowhere near. Again, I tell people, there's been bad superhero movies. This is not one of them.
Yeah.
To me, like I don't mean to interrupt, but there's one more thing. I don't think that the hate, at least now, I can't tell you when it came out because I really wasn't that active online to see why people were hating on it at that point. But I think that the hate now stems from this like fake outrage where it's like they dislike Jared Leto because he did some movie where he was like a white dude in the middle of the Yakuza, so people didn't like him for that. So, they had to get on him for that. They feel that David Ayer overly sexualized Harley when it's like you never really read a comic to know that Harley uses that to her advantage. So it was this like fake outrage to kind of like fuel people disliking it. And as I said, if you didn't like the movie for the story, that's perfectly fine. But I feel that the majority of people who dislike it, there's something so much more behind it than actually taking it for what it was, a movie.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll never argue with someone who thinks it's a bad movie. You're more than welcome to do so. Your reasons don't even really have to be valid. You don't like it, you don't like it. I just say you don't have to remind us how much you don't like it just because we say we do like it. Like it's unnecessary. It's like someone telling you like, hey, I'm allergic to like that cake, and you bringing that cake up every time you're around that person. Like, why? Like, why are you doing that? What is the purpose of it? So that's why I'm not on social media, Tia, because that's all it is. All it is someone going, man, I had a really good day today, and then someone randomly coming in and saying, yeah, but your mom's ugly. And then it's like, why?
I didn't ask you that.
Why? But
it had
why
nothing to do with what's going on right now.
Why are you spreading negativity in my very positive post? Like, why?
Yeah, and Joan, that I don't like say Batman versus Superman. And I'll talk about when we do say like videos where we debate it.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna freaking like text you every day and go, you know what really sucks? Batman versus Superman.
It's just it's unnecessary. If you like something, you like something. There's no need for hostility to be created over it. That's what the biggest divide between geeks are. It's like, dude, you liked it, all right, no problem. Like what did we say when we did Geek Vibes Live? I specifically said, if you're excited for the Snyder Cut, I'm happy that you get it. I'm just not someone that was asking for it. I don't care. It has nothing to do with the forward progression of DC films. He's no longer the helm of it. So I'm like, I don't really care. But if you like it, I love it. Sure, go ahead and embrace it, man. There's nothing wrong with it. We don't live in a world that feels the same way. They have to make sure you understand. I hate it. I hate you. I hate everything. And it's like, all right.
It's like I hate it. It's stupid. And if you actually like it, then you're a terrible freaking person. It's like, it's a movie.
Like, how could you have your own mind? The nerve of you to have your own damn mind.
I don't know. That's why I say I was very much one of those people that thought BVS was going to be 1,000 times better than Civil War. And I posted it. I remember saying, this doesn't feel right. But I posted it because I had that much faith in BVS. Like, seeing Batman and Superman on screen together. It's never been done. So I'm like, this will blow out little Captain America and Iron Man. And when I was wrong, everyone brought it up like 2 or 3 years later when like the Facebook memories came up. They were like throwing it in my face. And I said, look, you can throw it in my face, but I don't disagree with what I was thinking the day that
exactly.
I
I
felt
still felt the same. That's how I felt, and it is what it is.
like, albeit I was wrong, like all the way around, like movie-wise, money-wise, I was wrong. But to me, my mindset was Batman and Superman on screen together. Nothing can beat that.
Classic.
I've been waiting for that for generations.
Mhm.
I still
And in the end, it's just a movie. People get in tizzies, they get into screaming matches
yeah.
for
I'll say
things that are just movies.
And you ain't getting no money off that box office, so stand down.
Yeah.
I'll go deeper, Jacoya, before we end this. I'll go deeper. I've seen someone say they have no interest in getting into politics, but they went hard against saying how much they didn't like a comic book character in a movie. I'm like, your energy just is off. Like your energy.
Yeah, you're putting it away.
You need a
too
real
wrong
hobby. You need a hobby.
I'm like, geez, man. Like, look, we're all passionate about it, but would I fight
Yeah.
you over it? No.
There's a difference, I feel like, between like our level of like fandom and a different level of fandom, and it's like we feel intense, we feel very strongly, we feel very passionate, and then there's like another like offset that it's like you need Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. And God bless those people, man, because it's like to have that much hatred on your heart has to be a very heavy burden. But all right, this has been Watch Party with myself, Tia, Nicoya. Dan was on for a little bit. He didn't make it back on.
Yeah.
Before we ended.
I can see that.
But I'm actually gonna have to go through this whole footage. This probably won't be up until like Monday. I'm gonna have to go through it. Kanan really hates when we do 3-hour long episodes. So I'm gonna have to go through it. But thank you everyone. When you guys finally do get to see this, we enjoy doing this. Let us know if you want us to do more. Give us a movie, we'll do it. Don't. For anyone out there, don't pick The Irishman. Don't pick Godfather. Don't pick
no.
that are
No.
this movie here was only 2 hours, and it's been 3 hours. So don't give us more reason to talk longer than we need to.
Don't pick Batman versus Superman.
I'm actually going to pick Batman versus Superman, our next movie.
No.
Look, I did Suicide Squad for you. I did it for you. I started this off with
You want to do what? What you want to do, Jerron?
Batman v Superman.
Oh. That was my homework.
The sound of her voice.
That was my homework before, so I already watched that. So I'm down.
That was good to me. Tia, you have no say. None. All right. Thank you.
Tia, what you want to do?
Anything but that.
Anything but that. I'll be here for the scoot scenes. That's all.
All right. This was a great episode. I hope we get to do a lot more. This is a lot of fun. Tia,
Cool.
Dan, if you can even hear me, Dan. Thank you. Until next time.
Peace.